What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another JUICEreacts. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another JUICEreacts video, and today we are continuing our journey through every single Warhammer 40k faction explained. This is part 3 of the 3-part series, and we are officially finishing this today. Or I should say finishing part 1, because maybe we'll jump into part 2 because there's so much more. But anyways, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into this. We ended right before it started the Imperial Knights, and we're going to go ahead and check them out right now.
Do you like gigantic walkers the size of homes?
Yes.
Or medium-sized buildings? Do you want to kill heretics, but you want to kill like 40 of them per turn?
Yes.
Do you want a gigantic, old-school knight noble house style of walkers with
Maybe
giant chainsaw arms? Then you got Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights, it's not a whole lot to talk about them because they're just gigantic walkers, but they have this old-school, like, house feel to them. Like, literally, like they're houses. Each Imperial
Are these
Knight
not Titans?
comes from a house.
I'm assuming not.
And each of them act in their own special way. These behemoth of walkers also destroy almost everything in their path, killing full swaths of squads in a couple shots, stepping on legions of troops. Like, these things do not mess around. And they look so cool. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, actually, for that matter, don't have a whole lot to discuss. They're just super big, heavy walkers, and they look different depending on your house or chaos god you currently believe in. And overall, these things are just really cool if you want to murder everything in your path. They're the big, scary, big unit
Those look
of
awesome.
Warhammer, and if you want to collect them, go to town. They make for a great painting project, too. Getting more back down to earth, let's talk something about a little bit different, a little more gold.
Ooh.
If guardsmen are regular soldiers, Space Marines are super soldiers, Grey Knights are super soldiers, the Adeptus custodes are super soldiers cubed. The Adeptus custodes are the third major army I own. I know, 3 armies. I know, I got carried away, okay, but that's all. I only have 3, okay?
Damn.
They are our final brand of Space Marines, but these ones are super special. Okay, if a guardsman is 6 foot, a Space Marine is 7 feet, a custodian is 8 feet. These are the giant defenders of Holy Terra, which is also Earth. Earth is Terra. Terra. Themselves.
I asked that question a lot back in the day.
People that literally guard the Emperor's throne room, hence custodes. These boys protect the Emperor's throne room at all times and are literally like
do they really fight?
Handcrafted people. They're not humans brought up by a gene seer or something. These are all handcrafted super soldiers. I think from a tube. These behemoth of men are like 8 feet, 8.5 feet tall, and functionally immortal. They stand still, spear in hand, for hundreds of years without the need to sleep and barely even the need to eat, watching over the throne room and every other area of Holy Terra for their entire purpose in life. And oh my lord, are they terrifying.
Are there actually
These custodians
people?
put Space Marines to shame. If you liked your super soldiers, these are your super mega soldiers. One of these men can take on probably 3 Space Marines and most likely win. There are many different groups of custodians as well, like the Solar Watch, or there's also my personal favorite, the Aquilin Shield. The Aquilin Shield go out to seemingly unimportant
I don't really like these designs.
and protect them because they believe that they are going to be doing something very important in their lives. For instance, let's say a regular guardsman gets the protection of this giant 8.5 foot tall golden god because that guardsman will end up becoming a general one day or something of that nature. The custodians work in mysterious ways and are almost always outnumbered, but
they
never
look like
outmatched.
those mechanical.
These people are pretty horrifying, both on the tabletop as well as in the
ones we just talked about.
There
Imperial
are very
Knights.
few of them, however, and there's actually an extremely small amount of them. But that's kind of the point. There's only so many of these people that can have war gear this strong, weapons this powerful, and training this good. And the custodians have all 3 of it. For 100 years, I stood my watch amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis. I was still as a statue, but always ready. Always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years, I did not but wait.
Get into fights?
If any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this. patience is a weapon. The custodians are the top dogs of the Imperial.
Damn, that's a badass lion head, though.
They hurt just that same way. Though I do want to discuss a little bit about the Sisters of Silence before we get out of here. Because the Sisters of Silence I also have a few of, and they're really fun.
Who are
but
they?
They don't get enough attention. These kind of bald plume ladies are a whole group of pariahs, or also known as blanks. We'll be referring to them as blanks from now on. So as every mind is somewhat connected to the warp, these blanks are a genetic mutation that has it suppressed heavily. Because of that mind suppression, normal people feel this weird, like, uncomfortable nature when around them. When a Sister of Silence,
because they want to do them,
you feel ill.
Maybe
You feel just uncomfortable and strange. So most of them don't actually.
So they're suppressing them.
Because once they are birthed, they're, well, you know, killed or something at a very young age because they just emit a horrifying aura. These ladies, however, are guardians of the throne as well for more.
I'm sorry, hold on. They're killed at birth because they submit an aura. I feel like the person that created them was probably like, women, they're evil. They must die because they have bad auras. I'm sorry. I love a majority of this fucking Warhammer stuff, but that seems pretty hilarious. Just throwing it out there.
Psychic threats. See, none of the custodians are psychic.
That's awesome.
They have a difficult time dealing with major demons and other kinds of psychic phenomena. These sisters are extremely specialized.
They look cool,
All
though.
of them taking a vow of silence as they don't speak, hence the term Sisters of Silence, but they communicate through hand gestures and things of that nature. But if there's a demon issue, if there's any kind of warp-based problem,
silence.
the sisters are extremely adept at dealing with them, thanks to their blank gene. They normally work a lot of time with the custodians because
I'd
they
rather
have to
them
deal with
be in
both kinds
gold.
of threats, but they're not represented that way on the tabletop. In fact, they only have like one real model for them, which is very unfortunate. I hope they'll get some like news soon because I think they should really be working together as it is that way in the lore. But hopefully we'll get there soon. But if we're talking about blanks, let's talk assassins.
Ooh, this is what I've been wanting. I've been wanting to see assassins.
We're about to round it out. We got this and one more human thing, and then we're done. The assassins, though, the Officio Assassinorum.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
These people are deadly. Yeah, they're called assassins. They should be, but oh man.
I've been waiting for something like this.
These people will mess you up. So these are from the Officio.
Ooh, they got a cool logo.
Assassinorum, a very special organization, and they are handpicked by the Grand Master of the Officio Assassinorum from the what was it called? Scola Progenium. It's basically an orphan.
That's how I feel.
Your parents got murdered
Relatable.
by demons or something.
Relatable.
You get sent to this, and you get trained to be whatever. Tempestus drop troop, an inquisitor, maybe even. Maybe you get a blank gene, and you get thrown.
That
into
looks like
Sisters
some
of Silence,
fucking Van
or
Helsing shit right there.
Sometimes you just disappear. When you are taken, however, you go to one of 4 temples because the Assassinorum works in the temple style of things. These temples are the Vindicare,
This looks cool.
Caluxus, Calidus, and Eversor temples. Let's start with the Vindicare. I'm far away.
That looks
I've been
awesome.
sitting here for
So a
3
sniper.
weeks. Poof! The Vindicare temple is the main sniper-based temple. Gigantic sniper rifles.
Where are
for all
the
these
up-close
assassins.
ones?
Their whole point is to be able to be in a spot and sit there, eye and scope, for weeks, waiting for their perfect target, taking people out from literal miles
Nice.
away after extremely long time periods. The Vindicare Temple is about precise, perfect aim. There have been reports of Vindicares being able to single out particular body parts from over 2-3 miles away. Temples in the head, the jugular, for instance, and been sitting there after weeks. And when they're ready, take that shot. Time is done. Packs them up. The Calidus Temple, however, is a lot more about shape-shifting and deviant art. It's mostly a female-based one, or at least it seems to be, and this allows a lot of body augmentation for certain individuals to be able to kind of transmorph themselves and infiltrate areas that are problems. These assassins will end up taking missions that take them years, 2-3 years, to infiltrate a heretical group and slowly work their way up, just to get enough time to put a bullet into the main target's head and then escape unharmed.
That's
or
a good assassin.
become the main target and sabotage it from within. These are all completely about deception, mind tricks, polymorphing, and everything in between.
I like that.
Lots of drawings. Lots of drawings. The Eversor Temple. Just kind of disturbing one. The Eversor Temple is about when you don't want anything to come back alive, friend or foe. You want it all dead. And Eversor is psychogenically conditioned with just psychotherapy and psychological torture to only feel violence, hatred, and anger. It does the Clockwork Orange style of thing.
Yeah.
Forced to watch never-ending pain and misery and psycho.
Such a good movie. I love Clockwork Orange.
I guess is the term. And then they pump you full of tons of psychedelic drugs, and they cryo-freeze you. And then they drop you in an area where they just want to make sure everything is dead. And then you defrost, full of just all this insane, mind-boggling psychotherapy and psychedelic drugs, and you just go to town. Yeah, if you don't care if anyone comes
that'd be cool to
alive.
play.
You're like, all right, lost cause.
Like in a game mode.
Finally, there's the most bizarre temple, the Caluxus Temple. The Caluxus assassins
I don't think I like that either.
Even among the other temples. So that blank gene, the people will go to the Caluxus Temple.
This is that Stone Cold Steve Austin entering the fucking WWE right there.
That to be massively anti-psycho or even just anti-regular people. They are seen with extreme fear and distrust among many, many people. They are described by the Eldar, by quote, as being pure evil. Imagine that uncomfortable feeling from that.
I'm not a big fan of their design.
And then imagine them being taught and given equipment to amplify it by 100. If normally regular people feel uncomfortable, now they are basically akin to being a siren wailing directly in your ear. And if you're a psyker,
that sounds terrible.
Oh no. The sheer presence of a Caluxus assassin is enough for you to tear your skin off. You will rather gouge your eyes out and rip your nails off than even being near this person. The Caluxus assassin is when you want psychers to literally lose their minds, and they will go on their knees and ask you to gun them down because it is a suitable choice over being anywhere near you. The motto of that temple is, that which is unknown and unseen commands the greatest fear. Now, for the tabletop, assassins aren't that special. You can call them in no matter what Imperium faction you are, and they do a lot of work for themselves, but at the same time, they're very specialized and require a lot of finesse. And they work the way you generally want them to, though. You want to cause some distortion.
The chick assassin looks cool. I like that design.
You want to just murder swaths of infantry and then blow up Eversor. You want to kill that one guy, Vindicare, and if you have a lot of psychers, Caluxus. It's a nice little, like, jack of all trades if you have a specific thing you want to kill. And you get to choose which is really fun. But now, let's talk about the last human faction. We can round this video out before we do part 2. The Inquisition.
Okay, so I've heard this one a lot. I've heard about the Inquisition a lot.
Oh boy. Where do I even begin with the Inquisition? Take every
Star Wars?
secret police you can think of. The KGB, the Gestapo, the CIA, FBI, any of
Images
these
not
kinds
found.
of people. And then mark it up by about 10 and give them the most power in the entire Imperium. No, you know what? How about this? This right here, it's not just a quote. This is the Imperial motto, the motto of the Inquisition. I apologize for my bad pronunciation. Innocentia nihil probat. Innocence proves nothing.
Jesus.
The most powerful organization in the Imperium, the secret police, their #1 motto is innocence proves nothing. The Inquisition goes around like the secret police or like detectives to find issues in the Imperium. And they have different ordos depending on which one we're talking about. The Ordo Hereticus, the Ordo Xenos, the Ordo Malleus, for instance, and a whole bunch of other
I feel like the chicks in Warhammer 40k have some dope-ass costumes.
Alien threats, and Malleus is demons. They all have different specializations in what they're trying to go for as this Inquisitor.
But I also think I'm a fan of like badass designs
their own free reign to do
on
as they wish.
like
They
thinner
have a ship
bodies.
and a crew, and they
I think it
go
just
out
looks
to find
sleeker, in
problems
my
and
opinion.
interrogate people a lot. They are above the law.
Ooh, that
in
looks cool.
Every department.
That looks real dope.
Over Space Marines. Now, the Space Marines might argue against them and stuff, and there might be a lot of blowback, but technically they are above them as Inquisitors. They are looking to investigate and figure out coups and cults and demonic incursions and possible Xenos issues like gene stealers or a new threat.
The way they just
an
throw
area.
their head on
They're
stupid
about learning
things.
that stuff and actually doing detective work. And memes aside, they're pretty good at it. The Inquisition having all of this power does make them a
Detective
little bit
work? I like that.
and frantic sometimes. And yes, it is still a bad thing, but most of them are pretty
Oh,
good at their
shit.
job. And they spend a lot
That
of time
hair, though.
being very diligent to make sure that all of these leads they follow are proper and correct. They're basically space detectives with just enormous power and sometimes a bit of a power complex. And we haven't even talked about Exterminatus yet. Exterminatus. Exterminatus is deeming a planet unfit to be saved.
I've heard of this.
I deem that this planet is demon infested and taking it back will cost too many resources and is not worth it. I have now
Jesus.
committed Exterminatus on this planet. I will now sign the death warrant of an entire Imperium planet as it is unfit to take and better to be destroyed than allow the enemy to hold it. This
That's
can mean
insane.
saturation bombardments. This can mean cracking the planet's core and breaking it apart. Doesn't matter. Render this planet inhospitable to all life. Yes, the innocents proves nothing people are the only people who can choose this planet must die in its entirety.
Damn. That's
Yeah,
gangster.
you're playing the villain. Now, it is memed a lot, but most Inquisitors are very rare to do Exterminatus. Exterminatus is a very crazy thing. There's only so many worlds that you don't want to destroy all of them.
It's true.
And naturally, with the memes aside, there are some people who are a little bit rough on this one. But most Inquisitors generally don't like to do Exterminatus.
I don't know what that
but
means.
it
I just
is
laugh
an
for no
option
reason.
They have.
Fight us
And it's
sounded
a crazy
funny.
option when you think
Definitely
about it.
not gay.
Secret Police Inquisition are unfortunately not represented on the tabletop very much. You generally kind of put one in your army if you feel like it. You have a couple special options there and some side content, but they're not really fleshed out very well, and personally they need a lot more stuff put in there, and they really need a lot more effort put into them, and they're not quite where I want them to be. Overall, the Inquisition makes for a lot of the best storytelling as well, because it's a little bit hard to talk about a big story of a whole bunch of Space Marines killing something, right? It's just a big battle story. It's not as interesting. Having that intrigue and that moral dilemma that an Inquisitor has makes for a lot better media. And honestly, the more people do it, I think it's better, because then it adds a little more humanity to the Warhammer horrible, horrible grim darkness. And wow, we just finished the humans, all right? Come back for part 2 when we talk about
Part
Chaos
2.
and Xenos, because we got to talk about the 4 Chaos Gods and all the Chaos Marine legions.
See, I hear about the
and
Chaos
Tau
Gods a lot,
and the
too.
Necrons and the Orcs, and oh boy, we got a lot. I'll see you in part 2.
Alright. So there it is. Part 3 is done for us, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I'm assuming you guys want me to check out part 2, because, yeah, this was pretty informative. I liked it. It did show me some really cool factions and stuff that I hadn't seen. There was stuff that I heard that I didn't know a lot of information about, which I think is pretty cool. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Imperial faction, where is it? Was it the Imperial Knights? Am I getting those confused? Like these dudes. Okay, so from my understanding, when I watch, and sorry if I reference Hell's Reach all the time, but Hell's Reach is what I jumped into. Well, Astartes was technically what jumped me into this this universe. But after watching Hell's Reach, it had a Titan in it, which I thought was fucking amazing. That is not an Imperial Knight, correct? It's bigger, or am I wrong here? Because an Imperial Knight seems like they're those mid-size tanks that I think were also in Hell's Reach, or maybe I'm getting it confused with something else. But the Titans are a lot bigger than that, right? Or am I wrong? Feel free to correct me on that. But they look, I feel like that could be easily confused if they're not one and the same. But I think they're different. So I don't know, feel free to correct me on that. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. I will say, I do really enjoy the female aspect of this game. Like, they look dope. I think the women have an interest, because you don't see them a lot. Like, at least in the stuff I've been reacting to, it's all just a bunch of dudes just killing each other all the time. I find it intriguing that I want to see more from the women aspect of Warhammer 40k, because it seems like they have very unique styles. Like I said, the sisters, not the sisters, these are the Sisters of Silence, but the ones that are the like holy sisters, Soritas, or yeah, I forgot how to pronounce it. But you know, the fucking holy ones that these girls, Light of the Seven, they're fucking awesome. They seem dope, and I want to see more from them. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. It's nice to get a nice little introduction to all these factions. But I guess now on part 2, we're going to learn about the villains, is from my understanding. But yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps out the channel. And of course, if you want to see more Warhammer 40k stuff, hit that subscribe button, because we upload Monday through Friday. We upload a different bunch of things. Some people have wanted me to start getting into SCP, which is, you know, that's a pretty interesting thing too. Of course, Apex just started a new season. That's why you've been getting so much of an influx of Apex stuff. But Season 6 has already started, so there shouldn't be a lot more Apex stuff going on. So yeah, I'm totally down. Of course, you can always recommend more stuff for me to watch from Warhammer 40k, or if you are also part of that fandom of SCP, recommend me some stuff over there too. But that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember to wake up in the morning and ask yourself something. I'm a daily dose of juice. See you guys next time.